Hello, loyal Solo Leveling fans. In this video, we'll continue Suho's journey in the Shadow Dungeon. How exciting is the story this time? Let's watch it together. In this chapter, Suho is testing his new skill, Shadow Extraction, on a goblin corpse. After resurrecting 3 shadow goblins, he's a little surprised because it is his first time using this skill. Suho immediately says that this is not as great as he expected. The shadow goblins also look disappointed, but according to the new explanation, the new Shadow Extraction soldiers are indeed weaker than when they were alive. In addition, their bodies are also getting smaller, especially since the shadow goblins will disappear in one day. This is because Suho does not have shadow storage. Bru said that this might be because of the intelligence status and the level of influence of Shadow Authority. Bru also said that the skill would be very good later. After that, Suho left the Shadow Dungeon to look for food. He looked very greedy while eating because he had been in the Shadow Dungeon for 2 days. While Suho enjoyed his food, Bru explained the 3 missions that the Monarch had. The first mission was to protect the Earth from outer space monsters, so Suho had to go to the dungeon and hunt monsters. Bru also explained that while Suho hunted monsters, Suho would level up, and when Suho got stronger, the Earth would be safer. The second mission was to find his mother. Suho had to find his mother. Whatever happened, according to Bru's explanation, as long as Suho hunted outer space monsters, he would definitely find clues to find out where his mother was. And the third mission was to restore Bru's strength. Bru was very dissatisfied when he was placed at the warrior level. Bru wanted to show his true strength. Bru explained that the way to restore his strength was to absorb some of the target's magic and knowledge by eating them. This method was inefficient, but only now had no other choice. After finishing his meal, Suho began to prepare to go to the Hunter Association, because hunters must have a license to be able to enter the dungeon. Before leaving there, Suho thought a little about how the results of the assessment would be, because Suho was an awakener who could level up. He was also curious about what rank he would get. Would it be possible to become an S rank? After doing the test, it turned out that Suho's magic level was 46, and he was determined to be an Awakener rank 1. He was surprised while walking home. He thought about whether an E rank could protect the Earth. On the other hand, Suho thought that the Dungeon Conquest Party rarely employed K and F ranks. Because of that, Suho would have difficulty entering the dungeon. Suho suddenly found a way. In conquering the dungeon, there is a complete division of labor. First is the Assault Squad. This squad is tasked with defeating the monsters in the dungeon. Second is the Transport Team. This team is tasked with following from behind and taking the monster corpses. And third is the Mining Team. This team is tasked with taking dungeon resources from the back row. Besides the Assault Squad, the Transport Team and the Miners receive Hunter rank K. In other words, even though Suho has rank, he can still enter the dungeon. In the end, Suho managed to enter the dungeon as a mining team. It turned out that Suho did not come alone. He was able to enter the dungeon because his friend named Talim helped him, and suddenly he apologized to Suho for the incident that happened at the university. He apologized because at that incident, he was the only Awakener there, but he was scared and ran away alone. Then, Suho said that his actions at that time were justified, because the Hunter Association told the E-Rankers, including Suho, to run as fast as possible when they saw a monster. Talim was immediately shocked when he found out that Suho was actually rank E. In addition, Suho's mana was even lower than Talim's. But here, Talim couldn't just believe it, because he saw Suho fighting a monster during the incident at the university, and Talim thought that he might have just seen it wrong, when Bru suddenly appeared and surprised Talim. He thought Suho had summoner skills. Moreover, he even showed off that he had running skills that made him very good at escaping. While staring at the dungeon hallway, this was Suho's first time entering a dungeon except for the Shadow Dungeon. After that, we are shown the attack team, who realized that this dungeon seemed empty. Since they entered, only wolf monsters appeared. They said that the price of wolf skin was not very good, but one of the attack teams said that they would not know until the end when they were in the dungeon. Suddenly, they found a gap in the wall. When they entered, the place was like ruins. The detection skill of one of the teams there also did not sense any monsters, and sure enough, they found a treasure there. The treasure was a sword. Before they detected the sword, suddenly, Kim Yong-jun pulled out the sword. At first glance, it seemed like nothing happened, but suddenly, Yong-jun attacked his teammates there, and the sword turned out to possess Kim Young-jun. On the other hand, the tense atmosphere of the miners working in the dungeon was suddenly shocked by an unusual sight. They saw Suho using a summoning skill that surprisingly summoned 3 shadow goblins at once. These goblins swiftly began mining the mana stones as if they were used to the task. Talim could not hide his surprise. He knew that summoning skills usually only allowed someone to summon 1 or 2 creatures, but Suho managed to summon 3 at once. This made him even more convinced that Suho's strength was truly abnormal, while Suho himself seemed very satisfied with the shadow soldiers. He no longer needed to work hard. This goblin could replace his duties tirelessly and without complaining. In his heart, he was increasingly convinced that shadow extraction was an extraordinary skill. Baru then reminded Suho that the main purpose of entering this dungeon was to increase his level. But instead of hunting monsters, Suho was busy with other things. At that time, Suho suddenly remembered his 3rd mission, which was to restore Baru's strength. He found a way to do it, and remembered that eating magic stone fragments might be able to help. When Baru started consuming magic stone, something strange happened. He suddenly felt the signal of the presence of the monarch. Immediately, Suho was surprised and asked, "What was my father?" But Baru immediately clarified that it was not a shadow monarch. If it was really Suho's father, then Baru's strength should have recovered in an instant. While they were still digesting this situation, suddenly a sound was heard that was getting closer and closer to the mining team. Everyone there began to tremble in fear. From the darkness appeared 3 giant wolf monsters with sharp steel fangs. The miners immediately rushed to save them, but a man tried to fight back. Unfortunately, when his weapon was bitten by one of the wolves, the weapon immediately shattered into pieces as if it were made of glass. Seeing the increasingly dangerous situation, Suho immediately stepped forward to attack the wolf. With full confidence, he asked everyone to immediately get out of the dungeon and said that, "I will buy time." When he saw the wolves, Suho realized something. Their names and the color of their names were steel-fanged lichen, and the color of their names was orange. He immediately concluded that their strength was equivalent to a D rank, similar to the monster he had fought at the university. With that thought, Suho was sure he could win. But when Suho told Talim to run away, the man insisted on helping him. Suho calmly refused and said that he could handle it himself. Suho opened his inventory, showing the goblin weapons he had collected from the previous shadow dungeon. Talim, who saw this, was even more surprised. He thought that Suho's summoning skill was really unreasonable without wasting time. Suho immediately jumped and attacked in an instant. He managed to knock down 1 wolf. However, 2 other wolves immediately attacked him simultaneously. Suho quickly used the shadow extraction skill on the wolf he had killed. A moment later, one of his shadow goblins disappeared and turned into a shadow wolf that he had just created. This happened because Suho's shadow extraction capacity was only 3, so he had to replace one of his soldiers. Now the fight was more balanced with the shadow wolf by his side. Suho managed to hold back one of the wolves and finish off the other. After that, he turned all the wolf corpses into new shadow soldiers. Talim, who witnessed this, felt increasingly suspicious. According to him, the skills that Suho had were unreasonable for a rank E hunter. Suddenly, a system prompt appeared, warning that there was a creature around Suho who intended to kill him. The quest ordered him to defeat the creature for his safety. Not long after, they saw someone coming. Suho warned Alim to be alert, but before they could react, the person suddenly attacked. With fast reflexes, Suho managed to pull back Talim. The opponent's sword attack almost hit him, but fortunately, it only hit his glasses. Suho immediately issued the command, "Shadow Wolf, attack him," while dragging Talim to a safer place. After a closer look, it turned out that the person was a hunter who had lost his mind. Now, he had turned into a monster named Lycan's Fang with a red name. Suho realized that this was no ordinary enemy. Suho immediately pulled more weapons from his inventory. He then said with confidence, "The system must have given this quest to ensure my growth remains stable. That means I have the potential to win." With burning determination, Suho prepared to face this dangerous monster. Thus ends the 7th chapter. battle against Lycan's Fang has just begun. Will Suho win, or will he face a challenge far greater than he imagined? Find the answer in the next story. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the latest updates. See you in the next video.